everybody, and welcome back to our stream this fine Sunday evening slash afternoon slash morning. This fine time. Um, you may notice that today we have a full cast of players. Welcome back, Feather, first of all. We very much appreciate having you back, and I cannot wait to see what Throgyn gets up to today. In addition to that, we also have the Foundry fixed once again today. I ended up figuring out what the tech issues were. So at least for today, you will be able to see everyone's dice rolls, even if sometimes they're not quite the way it is supposed to be, as one of the character sheets has decided to break on us. If this is the single price we have to pay for working tech, this is the price we will pay for working tech. With all of that being said, I'd like all of my lovely, lovely players to introduce themselves and the character that they are playing. So, Rose, starting with you, tell us.
Why do you always start with me? I'm terrible at these
Because
things.
you are the top left on my screen and on the stream.
Where? Okay, so I'm Rose, and I play Ken, who's a burgundy tiefling-looking person with no social skills and way too many fucks to give about the world, which goes great. Last session, I ignored important conversations to sculpt a statue, and then I built a wall without asking people if that was okay. And now I'm gonna fight the sea. I guess that's it. I don't know.
May?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah, we good?
We're just I'm watching the stream for current issues and I'm just like too many things to look at. Anyway, hello. I am May. I play Fig, a half-orc cleric who is sort of dazzled by the appearance of one tavern owner Rock, who we met at the Siren Song. And yeah, he's sort of worried that she's in a tavern alone with a storm approaching in a flooded town with a disease. But we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much for that. Feather, it's been a while. Who are you, and what is your character's deal?
Hello, I am Throgyn. I hope you still remember me. I am a dwarf. I am not a bird. I simply look like that because a wizard turned me into one. But I'm going to find him. I'm gonna make this stop. It's been a while since I saw my friends, but yeah, I'm joining back. I'm back in town.
Yeah.
Big T is back in town.
Let's go, Big T.
Big T is back in town.
With a couple of new tricks as well, I do believe.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Can't wait to show you them.
And finally, last but certainly not least, Sunny K, who are you and what are you doing?
Hello, my name is Sunny K. I'm a musician, and I am playing Yuka, the Witch of the Wood, the steward of the Lord Bestial and the Lady Verdant. She is a druid. She is very out of place in an ocean, for she's a forest creature. And she's just laid bare a lot of her soul to a stranger who she immediately trusts and relates to. So new Yuka lore dropped? Question mark?
Your Yuka lore on my wonderful channel? Incredible.
It did happen.
Yeah, and remind me, druids in the party. Did you guys get new subclass features at level 4?
We can swim now. That might be important.
Nah, I'm sure it's not gonna come up.
Can I? Oh shit! Can I turn into a shark? I think Cam can for sure, but maybe you can.
I don't know what the CR of a shark is, unfortunately.
What
I think it depends on the type of shark.
I think it depends on the type of shark.
Is
just turn into some algae or something, Yuka. You'll be fine. Well, with that being said, I have one last announcement before we get into the recap for last week. This week I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of a shorter session, just because I physically am not doing the best, and I would rather have a very good short session than a longer, crappy one. So, with that being said, I do know one plot point that will be being done today, and hopefully after that is done, we will sign off for the night. So, May, because we decided this before the stream started, would you be so kind as to update our watchers as well as Feather on what happened in these last few weeks?
Few weeks. Oh, okay. I've got last week's post-it notes that I have
last week is the most
numbered
important
so
one.
that I
Just
know
like
which ones goes first.
last week is the most important one. Just do like the broad strokes of what's happened. Like, oh, you were in a town and.
Yep. So we started in a dwarf town. We got a little mini quest to save Yuka there, and then we have sort of gotten the call to head to Bartar, the port town, from our good doctor friend, and we came upon a town that was flooded and abandoned, and people holed up in a library, and disease possibly everywhere. So a little bit of a problem. But the main bit that happened last week is that well, we've got chamomile attuned to a lovely item, so they currently have that in their possession. So.
And on their face.
And then the main bit is that we did get to the tavern named the Siren Song, where both Fig and Yuka were sort of in contact with the water, where Camille and Feather were mostly not, even though Yuka did have protection from poison on her. So
Yuka did have protection from poison on her. That is actually still active because it has not yet been an in-game hour.
That's in my mind. DM.
Incredible.
It's in my mind.
Her fragile constitution.
She just died. Anyway, we have seen a rather dripping wet figure on top of the stairs that Fig went up to poke because he rolled high enough and figured out that it was an illusion. And then the other fellows sort of try to figure out where it's coming from. Yuka sees it sort of in the back of the tavern, and we have a lovely conversation with seemingly an uninfected person in a very diseased town. And we hear Rock's story about how lots of people seemingly became sick around her. And that, like, I don't know, there was a black sort of cable with an end trailing up her leg that she cut off that we were all very surprised about, and that sort of didn't infect her in ways that we could understand. Fig was very interested in Rock in maybe a later interview about her experience with the border war. I have lots of notes about that, but I can pass that by. And we have learned that Rock has most likely met the merchant or a possibly similar fellow named H, capital E, and that the we have learned that the second to the north dyke has burst, and that is what is currently allowing the flooding in the town. Lise also had a very emotional and involved conversation, but I'll leave that to anybody who watches the previous stream because it was very good. And Kim and Fig sort of eavesdrops on that on the outside, but we're not talking about that.
Just a little bit easier. Well, thank you so very much, May, for that recap. I do have one thing I want to just clarify as a retcon before we start. Cam has a new magic item, which last week I said gives them a +1 to any intimidation roll. I actually went through and rebalanced that item a little bit this past week to buff it. It now gives Cam plus their proficiency bonus on any diplomacy check they wish to use it on. It is not an automatic addition. They must choose to activate it. Thumbs up. Keep in mind that it does look like a bared canine teeth. So that could have some effects on. Well, with all of that done, we're going to jump right into it. So where we last left our lovely adventurers, they were setting out from an inn dubbed the Siren Song. Now this inn is in the flooded districts of Baratara, a coastal city built on canals that unfortunately, due to the recent crumbling of a dike, has begun to flood. Now, our players have seen that there is a storm coming, and that if nothing is done about it, there will likely be worsened flooding, and they do not know if any of the defenses currently keeping the dry areas dry will hold, should this storm come through. Our dearest adventurers, particularly Cam, a sculptor, has decided that it would be the best choice for them to head out and try and repair the dike, and have learned that there is 2 ways they know they could try, and maybe more if they are creative about it. The first is to go out to the dike proper. However, this is quite far away. It would likely leave them on the open ocean when the storm runs in, and is going to take a lot more time and energy to fix. The second is the naval headquarters, which is currently almost completely underwater due to it being on the far coastal edge of the city, has a small model of all of the dike systems that they're pretty sure is connected magically in some way to the real systems. And they might be able to repair the damage on that model system without having to actually leave city boundaries. However, Cam would not be able to do that alone, as they would need some sort of arcane caster to activate the magics on that model to make sure that it works properly. So, my dearest players, are you heading? Where are you heading?
Throgyn is
mean-
an arcane caster, right?
Throgyn is an arcane caster.
Sort of like-
Mm.
I think if Cam decisively goes out in a direction, I am following them.
Yeah, but Cam doesn't know there's an arcane caster. So they're very much torn between, am I just gonna attempt this and fuck up potentially, or am I gonna do that and get stuck at sea?
Both sound fun, right?
Throgyn, you seem
Wait.
more present today.
You didn't notice me all those other days. I've been like pickpocketing you all this time, but
Throgyn, give me a sleight of hand check.
Of course.
did you say fig or feather?
Feather.
Okay, give me a second. Mm,
Also, for those of you in chat wondering why I rolled 5d4, the players actually figured out last session that is how I'm determining where the illness gets worse or gets better.
I got a
Saying you-
24 at sleight of hand.
Wait, oh yeah. Okay, so what have you stolen from everyone? You get to steal one thing from every person.
I've stolen 1 gold coin from Yuka.
Sure.
One gold coin that she does not have.
Oh shit.
You do actually
Hold
have a
on,
very nice
let me
pair of
actually-
boots that used to belong to Yuka.
Yeah.
But I already
Dwarven-made
had them.
boots.
Are they on your feet right now?
Probably not. I am
Okay.
stealing shoelaces from you.
Okay, yeah.
Just returning the boots without the laces.
I think from Fig, I stole like half of a portion of rations that I ate. Um, and
Fair enough.
from Cam, yeah. Um, from Cam, I stole one of your figurines, one of the little things you made.
Okay, which one? Because like, what kind of figurine have you stolen?
Which one would be the least important to you?
Would you know that?
If you've talked about it, I would know. We're good
Uh,
buddies. We're good friends.
oh, we are. Fascinating.
Friends steal from each other, right?
I guess you would have stolen a figurine of a tabaxi like child.
Yes.
Fancy. Yeah, Throgyn, you've got these items. You're sort of juggling them.
I'm juggling shoelaces. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So you've turned me
He's
into a ball.
you're skipping rope with them.
Mm-hmm.
You've tied together and are doing your cardio exercises.
Yeah. So as you know,
Mhm.
Throgyn is sitting there skipping rope a little bit. You will notice that, or Cam, you would be the first to notice, I think. The ground that you've raised up so you guys can walk without getting your feet wet. You know, as you're stood in this ocean water that has a very fine layer of ash floating on the top of it. You notice that the water begins to lap up over the edge of the stones a little bit as the sea level starts to rise ever so slightly.
Awesome. We're still at the tavern right now, right?
Yep, you are still at the tavern right now.
Awesome. Orc Lady Rock, I think her name was.
Rock, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Okay, so where's she?
She's inside currently.
Awesome. I'm gonna just gonna storm in and go. Are you arcanely inclined?
Um,
And I'm gonna yell this. Like Cam doesn't yell, but Cam is like frustrated.
not particularly. I can do like illusions and throw my voice.
Very cool. Not at all useful. I'm sorry to bother you.
No worries. Do you need
Damn.
someone who's inclined to
Yes.
the arcane arts?
Yes, kind of. You see,
And you see
I'm
this.
like the kind of.
Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say you see this older orc woman, you know, very deep smile lines, teeth. One of them's capped in like a gold tooth covering, dressed currently in fisherman's waders, where she stood like up to her knees in water, just sort of looking very confused at you. I'm not quite sure where this question came from, considering you had left 2 minutes ago and now stormed back in to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. I don't know how to explain this. I'm not that smart. You know how like the and you just see Cam like trying to find the words to just explain what the fuck's going on in her brain,
Yeah.
which is basically, oh fuck, water can probably fix with magic, but I want to make it sound slightly more coherent than that.
That's fair.
So Cam's just gonna take a moment and try and explain the two options that we have to fix the dike, so not the entire town floods, but also getting caught in the storm is no fun, and I am not arcanely inclined, so I need someone who can help me fix the nerdy magic shit.
Throgyn, as this is being explained, you would recognize that you would be able to fix the nerdy magic.
I am a bit of a nerd. But no one's allowed to know that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Cam.
Ah,
I might be able to help you with some stuff, but yeah.
Since when did you do magic?
I think I've done magic before. I did catapult a bunch, like in the dragon statue episode. I did magic.
You weren't just very strong. Okay.
Yes, that's the one turned into the bear. I understand where the, confusion is.
Mhm.
Okay, so Cam's
Um,
content. Okay, and grabs just Throgyn by the hand and starts walking towards where they've been told the thing is.
Cam, I've got a very important question for
Mhm.
you. Have you ever been to Baratara before?
No, but I was told that away, so I'm going that away.
Great. So Cam begins to walk off towards the west. No, towards the east. I can do directions. And Fig, you would notice that Cam is going in generally the right direction. However, maybe they should adjust a little bit. So currently, my players are on the map right about here at this building up here. And Cam, you have been told that the small model that would allow you to basically make changes to the dike remotely is over in this naval building over here, which is also the main shipyard for the Gurmuk Navy. So with Fig's help, you would be able to adjust your path a little bit, get there within very little time, all things considered. That walk is only going to take you about 15 minutes, even with the mold earth that you're doing to keep your feet dry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm still not touching the water if I can help it.
Thumbs up, I assumed you weren't. And you will notice one other thing, actually, as you were walking. You hadn't noticed it while you were on your way to the Siren Song, but now that you're going away from the Siren Song, you notice that the way the waves are moving and the way the waves are lapping up against buildings and just sort of debris or like boxes and things, the ash doesn't seem to be originating from the Siren Song itself, but it does certainly seem to be stronger near the Siren Song than on some of the smaller side streets. As you
Does it
guys,
look as though it's coagulating there, or it's using that as a central point, like it's trying to get there from somewhere else?
it looks a bit, it would look to you like the way ants tend to swarm around like a piece of food, where there's a lot more there, but you're not able to see if it's because they're trying to go there or just because it helps them to go there, if that makes sense.
Yuka's percolating ideas.
Of course. As you guys continue to travel eastward, you end up cresting around a slight sort of hill in the buildings, and you notice that in front of you there is a very large, stunningly constructed building. Now, this building is made almost completely out of like masonry, high quality hewn stone. Throgyn, you would notice that this is very clearly not of dwarven make. This actually seems to be halfling constructed, with the small, almost more floral sort of engravings and carvings wrapped up in a lot of these wave motifs. You see algae, you see seaweed on especially like the corner posts. And then as this building continues higher and higher, you would see that the roof itself has been made of like very well constructed, what looks to be almost old ship's masts, where you can see that they've splintered or they've cracked and they've been put together in this reused way, as they can no longer be used as tall ship masts. You also all
bonus,
see that
I would like
Oh, go ahead.
I would like to see if there's a window that seemingly has had a lot of repairs done to it.
Funny you should mention this, May, because actually you were going to notice that one of the windows on the second floor, the top floor of this building, the masonry around that window, it's still very old. It's still very clearly like 300-ish, 350 plus years old. But it doesn't actually match the color of the original stone next to it. And you can tell that it's likely been repaired after the building was built. In addition to that, you also notice that where most of the windows have wooden shutters on them, this window actually has iron bars on it now. As you all approach, you are going to notice that to the north, along the edge of the coast, there also is what still looks to be a massive shipyard. However, you notice something a little bit unfortunate. There are 3 ships that were left in in that yard. One of them you see floating on the top of the water as normal. However, 2 of them, 2 larger ships, one 3-master, one 4-master, they are both sunk. You can see that the water is lapping up right above where the like banisters are. You can just barely see the back part of the deck where the captain's wheel would be, but the foredeck is completely submerged under the ocean water. As you all get here, what are you looking for?
I would probably first check if there are any people currently in this abode, if I could figure that out.
Yeah.
Cam's looking for like
Um,
tourist signs.
Both of you give me a perception check.
Can I give the help action to either of them?
Yep, you can give help action to one of them. Pick 'em.
I choose Cam because their powers of perception are so powerful.
I would like to help
Sorry,
Fig.
sorry, Fig.
You both have advantage for this.
I just have to quickly check what my roll is, but it's not loading.
I can also check if need
Come
be.
on, jump. Yeah, I don't know if my new feat affects active perception or just passive perception.
I don't remember, but I can check.
It's trying to load. It's trying very hard.
Your
DM, if
it's
you're helping them with
passive.
something else, I have the book here.
Your feat only gives a +5 bonus to passive perception.
Yeah, I just saw. So
Yeah.
1d, and then it's just plus proficiency, plus bonus, right?
Yeah, if you have proficiency in perception, it does.
Oh, that's the one, and then the advantage.
Yeah. So I see a 16 for Fig. I see a 22 for Cam. So, chamomile. Actually, Fig and chamomile. Fig, you're looking for people. What you were going to see as you were looking around is that there appears to be.
Oh, yeah, that's a big skill.
How do I want to describe this? Fig, as you're looking around for people, you find signs of life, but you don't find people, if that makes sense. You're able to see that, like, there are sandbags that have been put up in front of the door of the naval headquarters, implying that somebody has at least tried to keep the water out. However, you don't see anyone walking around, you don't see any smoke or anything like that.
You know, like lights in the window or otherwise.
No, nothing like that. Cam, as you're looking around for tourist signs, you do actually manage to see one that's been submerged in the water. And you see that it reads, and it basically points out, like, Water Management Museum inside basement level.
Great. Good idea, people.
To be fair, it is a museum. I don't know what they wanted.
I guess.
So, what would you all like to do?
Well, I read basement, so I'm gonna go to the basement unless someone tells me not to.
So as you're approaching this building, you will notice that the water itself rises all the way past the ground floor up to the first floor.
Is this building just like that much lower? Did we
Yes.
just basically walk downhill?
Yeah, so all of our
So
are
my-
basically built on a low-grade hill, with the richer buildings being higher from the water level.
Okay.
Now the rich folks didn't
So
want
my
to flood.
mold earth is gonna be huge pillars now.
Yeah. You notice that there's just like one big tower coming out of like the center of the city, where Cam had previously barricaded an entire district.
Huh. Funny. How clear is the water? Like, aside from the ash on top of it?
So if you're able to like brush the ash away from the top of the water, you will notice that you can see down all the way to ground level. without much issue. There's like some silt in the water. You'll see some like algae and some debris that is washed up every so often, but it's not like completely opaque. It does still look fairly clean, like you would find on like a rocky beach.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Since Cam's been very good at not communicating, they're just gonna say basement and start heading towards the front door.
So as you head towards the front
Or
door,
like whatever would count as a like front door based on water level. So that would be a first floor window, I guess.
so you can head towards this building. You're gonna notice that as you approach, there is the floor above you, that window that has the iron bars in front of it, and then on the level that you are on, there do appear to be two very large bay windows. However, both of them have the shutters drawn on the outside.
You going in? What, Cam? Did you find? Where
There
we're
was a
going?
sign, like point back, saying that the museum is in the basement. And museums are very good at having stuff that's like no longer in use but still works.
Right. Big's trying to remember if that's where Rock is told us would be an option. His May does not remember.
So basically what you were told, or what one of you remembered just off the top of your head, I think it was you actually, Fig. What you remembered is basically the way the dikes were constructed outside of the city. There were a bunch of little islands that you could that the engineers could basically connect, so that you wouldn't actually have to see the dikes from the city proper. However, because it is about a half a day's sail out, they also constructed a smaller model inside of the city that could basically be used like a. Basically, the model would change here as things change on the dikes themselves. So a technician or a magician here could basically look at it and be like, oh, we need to go out here and send a team here, and basically just have live understanding of what was happening without having to wait for messages or pigeons or anything like that.
Yeah, I think Fig was like surprised that it was like, wait, museum? Is it a museum? I don't think people would want to have that open to the general public. That'd be bad. But I don't know. They might have
Museums
had
are
some.
famously no touchy though.
This is true.
Yeah. Okay. That is true.
Which is very annoying because I do like touching all the time.
Yeah,
Both
Fig
pros
mostly
and
works in
cons.
like. Fig mostly works in archives where you can touch things with permission. So. Yeah. So yeah, I'll follow as I understand that we're going in, and let's see if there is like the
Fame's just,
window
like,
that
sure,
is
whatever.
shuttered close. I'm literally gonna see if I can break it.
Yeah, so you can roll
You
me
could
an
just put it
athletics
open.
check. Or a weapon attack, a melee weapon attack.
I have an axe.
Melee weapon attack it is then.
Because I don't want any of my spells used, I think, for this, and then nothing would really work for that. No. So yeah, this is just going to be simple melee. I can bring it up. Is that up? Just forget. Haven't done melee in a while. There it is. Yep. So just one action that I'm proficient in. No, I'm not good with Windows.
Apparently you're not good with windows.
If you want, I can try.
He watches Fig basically rears his axe back and like takes a swing. I'm so sorry, I just hit my mic, and takes a swing. And either Fig was trying to be careful and not like ruin this historic building, or the shutters are just made out of a thicker material than he thought. But he watches the axe just sort of like thuds, but doesn't really scratch or like make any real structural damage to the shutters.
Can I just like grab it and try and just open it, see if it's even locked at all?
Yeah, Cam, if you do, you will notice that they are actually latched closed from the inside.
God damn it.
Yeah. You will have to get inside somehow.
I can try to attack.
Anyone got mage hand?
No,
The
unfortunately not.
inside. Unlock it.
Yeah, Throgyn, you can make me a melee attack if you want.
DM, quick question. How big is the lock?
It's just a latch. Why?
Or how big is the space in between? Has it expanded?
You would be able to, like, push, if you had thieves' tools, one of the picks between, but you can't, like, fit a whole
Ooh.
finger in.
I do have thieves'
Okay.
tools.
Throgyn,
I know
you
Cam's
know
just
if you
gonna
keep the right
step
rules.
back.
Throgyn, you
If
can
that's-
either give me an attack roll to try and break it, or a sleight of hand check with your proficiency bonus if you want to use your thieves' tools.
If that doesn't work,
Okay.
I have a really stupid idea.
Sure thing.
That's a 17.
17 will
Right?
do it. So, Throgyn, you were able to just sort of like jimmy one of the picks in and sort of flick upwards, and you actually feel the latch sort of swing off, and you're able to just open the shutters as normal.
Perfect.
Inside,
Let's get in.
what you see a very large room. It looks like it used to be a drawing room or a library of some sort that has had at least one of the walls knocked out, so now it connects directly into a large hallway. As you step inside, you notice that the floor has this very, like, well-worn, but also very clearly fancily well-crafted carpet on the floor. And you see that it's this gorgeous deep blue with golden accents all down it, looking almost like knotted rope. You see that there is a staircase, a wooden staircase in this hallway that currently has a little bit of wetness on it. Like, you can tell that if you were to walk on it, it would be slippery, but it is not submerged. So it does look like these sandbags on the ground floor are holding for the moment. There is one other room on this floor that you cannot see into right now, but you can see a door into if you do want to look around, or there are stairs leading upwards as well.
I don't know how long those sandbags are going to last if we've got time to get to the basement before it gets wetter. So Pig will cautiously go down the stairs.
Absolutely. Big, as you start to descend the stairs, you notice the ground floor, the carpet that is at the base of the stairs. Again, this deep blue with this gold accenting on it. This carpet, as your feet step down, you feel it squish underneath you. And you can tell this carpet is just saturated with water. Looking around, you see that there is water currently leaking through underneath the main entrance. However, it is a very, very, very slow trickle. Looking around, you
Cam's
would be able
gonna-
to see two doors, one to either side of you, along with what looks to be a like a smaller half door that leads to more stairs going down.
So Cam's gonna follow Fig and realize that they really don't want the water to touch them, and the water isn't touching them. It's kind of like getting pushed out of the way. And Cam's just unaware casting shape water to be not where my feet are.
Got it.
It's happening, but Cam's just like, oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, your feet are completely dry. You notice that when you like step on the carpet, it does still squish a little bit under you, but only for a brief moment, and then all that water seems to be gone.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Love that.
I follow both of them.
Throgyn, it squishes underneath your feet.
Yeah, I love squish.
Yeah. Do you wear bird shoes?
Um, My feet kind of are already shoes.
Yeah, it's wet.
You know how flamingos are.
Throgyn,
Yeah.
it's wet.
It's wet.
It's wet.
It's unpleasant.
It's not quite as bad as stepping in it, like stepping in water with socks, but it's also not great, you know?
Yeah, I'm mostly used to stepping on rocks, so this is just way more wet than I want it to be.
Yeah, yeah. Yuka?
What kind of help will Throgyn and Cam need when we get to the destination that we seek?
Ooh, you could roll me a flat d20. The thing is, you don't know what you're about to walk into, Yuka.
Cool. Well, she's going to use her best judgment here.
Sure.
Please? Oh, damn it. No, you didn't see that actually. Haha, it's gone.
You're right, I didn't see it. I don't know what's happening.
It's been so long and I've used manual dice for just long enough that I've forgotten how to roll in the VTT. So somebody do something else while I'm figuring this out again,
Man,
please.
I
Don't look
feel
at me.
that. Cam, as you're walking around, you are actually going to see something. With your +5 little perception bonus you're now walking around carrying. Or sorry,
I have
+7?
a passive perception. My passive perception is now 20.
+10. Oh,
my
wow,
God.
you see everything. You see so much.
2020 vision.
20/20 vision. Yeah. You actually see, just sort of out of the corner, like you hear more than you see actually, that the sound of the water just seems to get a little bit stronger. And when you glance over towards the door, you notice that there's like an extra spurt that was not there before. Cam, you get the very distinct feeling that the increase in pressure that is occurring outside,
It's inside.
it is going to come through the door within the next 5 minutes. Like these sandbags are not
Great.
going to hold.
What's the door frame made out of?
Stone. The frame is made out of stone. The doors are made out of wood.
Yeah, can I just like close the door with stone? Just
So fun
bring up
fact.
the step.
You can do this if you want. However, this is going to start a little challenge for the day.
Oh no.
What I'm going to have you guys do is called a skill challenge. The rules are as follows. You all have a list of skills. You may, we're going to roll initiative, or you guys can choose in which order you wish to go. I don't particularly care. You each, on your turn, will be able to say, I want to do this thing. You can use a spell, you can use a tool, you can use an item, or you can use a skill. Once you have done any of those things, you will roll to see if it succeeds, to see if it fails. And if it succeeds, you get a point in the success column. If it fails, you get a point in the failure column. Your goal
No.
is going to be to succeed in the challenge before you hit 5 failures.
As an
Your
individually or
success-
as a group?
As a group.
Oh no, this can be over so fast.
Your success, your DC will depend on what you're trying to do, as well as whatever your success is depends on what you as a group want to achieve. Now, if you choose to use a skill, that skill will then receive a -2 penalty for the next person trying to use that skill. This will stack. So if all of you start trying to use survival, it will be a -2 for each time survival has been used. Does this make sense?
Is this also for yourself? So if I use survival and the next round I also use survival, there's still a -2?
This is also for yourself.
Okay.
Spells, crucially, will not have this penalty. Items will not have this penalty. And tools will not have this penalty. However, there may be other complications. So, would you guys like to roll to see who gets to act first, or would you like to choose the order in which you were going to act? I will always act at the end of the round.
Cam's an impulsive piece of shit, so they would like to go first.
Fair
I
enough.
think it's also that if Cam knows this is happening, they would also go first.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll put Cam first.
I'll go second if you allow me.
I think that makes sense with the arcane portion of this. Yeah.
Absolutely, you may go second.
Fig, do you want to go next or do you want to go last?
I'm just like, I don't know how I would help very much.
I think the mentality that Yuka has is to just do
Mhm.
whatever she is asked in this moment because this is a situation that is foreign enough to her that she just doesn't want us all to die.
Yeah, sure. I'll go third.
I'm gonna try and add you to the little combat tracker to see if I can do that. Give me just 2 minutes. Can't do it quick enough. We're not doing it. Just remember which order you're going in. So
Mhm.
it was Cam, Throgyn, and then was it Yuka?
No, Fig and then
Fig.
Yuka.
Fig and
Fig and
then
then
Yuka.
Yuka.
Perfect. And then the basically the forces of nature will always go at the end. So
I know those guys.
you know some
Big
of those
fan.
guys. Cam, you were going to try
Yes.
and mold Earth to just shut the door?
Yeah. No.
Absolutely. I want you to roll me a skill check. I want you to use wisdom and your proficiency bonus.
Uh-huh.
And this will basically determine just sort of how well you seal it, how thick the wall is, stuff like that.
The thingy is still... Oh, wait. No, yes. I did it right. I just got confused by numbers.
Ah, numbers are hard.
Mm-hmm. 15.
15. With a 15, you were able to seal the door. And you don't see any more water coming in, so you think you bought yourself a couple more minutes. That counts as a success.
Woo.
Throgyn.
Can I then just move away from the door?
Yep.
Back to the
I
group.
will mention that for the sake of this whole thing, movement, you don't need to track how far you move. Just tell me if you're like on the ground floor, the first floor, the second floor, the basement. So I know where you are.
Sure. I want to head towards the basement in any case.
Absolutely, you can head towards the basement. The door is unlocked. You're able to walk downstairs completely fine. I will describe what is down there in just a second. Throgyn.
Yes.
You watch as Cam basically seals the front door and then just hurries downstairs.
I immediately follow.
Yeah, absolutely. I will not describe what's downstairs because you can do things down here if you wish.
Perfect.
Now, the bottom floor of this building, it is still built with the same amount of delicate craftsmanship that you see in the rest of the building. You notice that there are no carpets down here. The stairs were not carpeted. They were instead rough hewn, and you can see that the center of them have like dipped ever so slightly with time. As you reach the bottom of the basement, it's a not quite a spiral staircase, but it does turn quite sharply, so that you cannot look from the bottom of the stairs to the top of the stairs or vice versa. As you enter the downstairs, you notice there are torch sconces on the walls. None of them are currently lit, as well as whale oil lamps. You cannot tell if there is oil in them. They are not currently lit. Around the edges of the room, you see a few glass cases. Most of them, yes, Cam?
Is it just fully dark here then?
It is dark, but I think the both of you have dark vision.
Nope.
Cam, it's dark.
Good. I
My
can't see
apologies.
shit. Good to know.
You can't see. You see that on the edges, like on the walls, you see there's some glass cabinets, some things out of glass cabinets that are stood there with little like placards either bolted into the stone itself or like on stands in front of them. One of them you notice is a very nice scabbard and dirk set that is very intricately smithed, showing motifs of like northern stars, golden swirls, stuff like that. You see at some point there is like what looks to be a large broken harpoon mounted on one of the walls. There is in one of the corners a it looks like a little corner that's been set up to show like how sleeping quarters look on ships. There is a hammock, there is part of a mast, there's a barrel, there's like a really fake looking cat. Very clearly that was put in here like 500 years ago and hasn't really been touched since. You also see on the far end of the room, so if you imagine like this very large room, the back half of the room, in the center of the floor, there is a massive table. And Throgyn, Cam, Fig, you three would recognize this as a war table. where it's very large. There's a slight raised lip on the edge of it. And inside of it, you see Baratara, one side raised to mimic the natural slope of the ground. And inside of this model, there is actually water. Now, this water differs from the water that is currently on the floor in that it is very, very bright blue, almost clear, so that you can see through to the bottom of the model with almost perfect accuracy. You notice that there is no ash floating in this water, and you notice that you can see all the way out to the closest outlying islands of Baratara, where the dikes are constructed, and you can see that, as you expected, of the 4 dyke or the 5 dyke sections, the second one from the north is currently collapsed inward and is allowing water to flow basically from the edge of the table into the city itself. The room is easy enough to walk around in, though you cannot beeline directly from the stairs to the table. You would have to basically walk around the exhibits if you want to avoid injuring anything. So, what would you like to do?
Yes. I want to try to cast a mending on that second dike from North Dike.
Sure.
Is it possible for me to walk around?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible for you to walk around.
Okay.
Give me a Arcana roll.
An Arcana roll. Okay. Shit.
10. No, don't worry about it. With a 10, you will notice
Okay.
some very important things about the table. The first is that it looks like this table itself is not meant to be changed. This table rather is meant to act as basically a visual of what is happening out there on a grander scale. So as you try and come up here to cast Mending, you notice that while you could probably break this enchantment to force the dike here to be fixed, if you break the enchantment here, it's not actually going to fix the dike out there where it matters. With a 10, you don't break anything. You're able to just sort of find this information out and use it in future. This does not count as a failure, nor as a success.
Perfect.
Yep. Big. It is your turn.
Okay, then.
You may also all freely talk to each other during this process.
Guessing Throgyn has sort of shown that.
Can't see
First,
shit.
If there is not enough light down here, I will be casting a cantrip light if that is not a main action. If it's a bonus type action.
Not a bonus action, unfortunately.
No, come on.
Wait, was the table like lit up or not?
Nope, the table is not lit up.
You
have no idea. You heard a bird like walk off to the other side of the room. You heard like the clinking of glass bottles.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything without light, even though I really wanted to do identify, so I could identify where controls are. Anyway.
You can cast Identify if you want to cast Identify. It just means there's going to be no light in the basement.
There's another option. There's another option that I can do where I can use Druidcraft to make any like protozoa, phytoplankton, bioluminesce.
Okay. I'll do Identify, sure. Because that's what I've wanted to do. That's... The other thing, so this is my new spell that I got for the new spell for 4th level is I got augury. Is that how you say it?
Yes, augury.
Yeah, augury. So I will say, like, interestingly, there's not like specific results, so that's why Identify is better, I think, in this case.
So let me really quick check what augury does so I know I'm using this spell. You can read it out for stream as well, May.
Yeah, it's by using a divining tool, I receive an omen about results of a specific course of action within the next 30 minutes, but it's mostly just like, is this good? Is this bad? Is it nothing? So it's not like I don't get any like details about it. So that's not not helpful right now to me. I don't think.
I will
Um,
say, because
but
that's a
identify.
longer casting time, I would let you
Yeah.
use it on future rounds if you cast it this round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, but I'd like identify first.
Okay.
So this is 'cause I would like to. Throgyn, can you lead me to the table so I can touch it?
Yes, hello. If you hear my voice, can you follow it? You need to take a step
Wait,
left right now. Take a step
do
left.
half orcs have dark vision?
Yeah, but I need a light
Oh,
source.
he can't see very well.
There is enough light from the staircase that you can see down here. If you have dark vision, you
Yeah.
can see.
Okay, I'm good then.
Whether or not
But
they
yeah,
still
believe
willing
you
to
can
lead
see
you
is the
around.
different issue.
Yeah, I still might get some help. But yeah, I choose one object that I
Yep.
have to touch, and if it's a magic object or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them. That is
Perfect.
the main thing there.
Yes. So you place your hands on the edge of this table. And the first thing that you notice as you cast this spell is basically when you cast Identify, it sort of shows you like it's almost like you send out like a sonar pulse, and then you get feedback from wherever you find magic. And as you cast this pulse out from your hands, you see that this entire table just lights up incredibly brightly in your mind. You can tell that whatever this object was, throughout every portion of its crafting, magic was imbued into it. Longevity spells, accuracy spells. There's so much divination magic floating around in this item. You are pretty sure that given enough time, given enough physical representation, you could change this table's focus away from Baratara into any other place or item you wished, as long as the sculpted mimic was accurate enough. You are not going to learn any specific spell that is affecting the item, because it's more about what the end result is rather than the individual spells themselves. However, you will learn that it was crafted by many different magicians, wizards, druids, clerics, artificers, a whole bunch of different basically focuses and specialties that have come together to create this object. You do also learn how to use this item. You will learn that this does not require attunement to use. Rather, any magic user who is strong enough would be able to affect it. It does not work on charges, rather it works on physical change. You'll have to put in energy for every physical change you wish to enact, but you can do as many changes as you have energy to do. Additionally, you will learn that in order to use this item, a couple of different things are needed. The first thing that is needed is you need somebody to change the physical model itself. If you can change the physical model, you would be able to basically show or make an imprint of what you wish to change out in the larger scale situation. However, in order to actually enact that change, you're going to require a arcane caster of some sort to basically amplify this change on the small scale to activate on the larger scale. This is going to be the more magically costly portion, as this is going to require a mass amount of energy, not only to basically transmit that change, but also to enact it over on the large scale. In addition to that, you will learn that during that casting, it will also start showing you basically any secondary or like carry-on effects of the changes you have. It will start revealing those to the model in real time as well. For example, if you build a wall somewhere, it will show you in real time where the water is being redirected. That's what you are going to learn with Identify. Enjoy.
Okay, so guys, table thing. So Cam, I think so you have to physically on the table change it, and then you've got to sort of, I don't know, like push magic through it to focus the energy to make that change happen elsewhere. I think that's sort of what I'm getting.
Yep.
Okay. Still can't see anything, so I can't do much, but good to know.
Yeah.
Yuka, it is your turn.
It's
Well, it's
Yuka's
Yuka's
turn.
turn.
What are the sandbags looking like at this point?
Good question. Cam, did you use the sand from the sandbags to cast Mold Earth, or did you use the stone itself from the wall to cast Mold
Like, I was imagining just having, like, the doorstep just come up
Earth?
out
Okay.
of the ground.
You cannot
Maybe-
actually see the sandbags right now, then, Yuka, because they are outside the stone wall that has been erected.
No problem. A better question would be, what is the current immediacy of the rising water that we can see, or like the water that could come in, that as we
You-
last all saw?
Yeah, so you would be able to know, because you have not entered the basement yet, that basically outside you can tell that the water is rising ever so slightly. It's nothing that is immediately urgent. It doesn't look like any of these walls are going to be pushed down or collapse or anything like that. However, you can tell that had the wall not been reinforced, there is a very high likelihood that the sandbags would not have been able to hold and would have washed away, or water would have pushed through them. As it
Okay.
stands now, you likely have 5 rounds or so before that topmost window, the one that is iron bars, begins to be reached by the water level, and water will begin to flow inside. By the
Gotcha.
way, Fig, that was a success last round.
Okay. She's gonna follow the crew into the basement and
Yep.
basically ask where is help most needed right now.
Lights, please.
Gotcha.
I know you have the
Like
mushrooms.
the seat at the table.
Cool. Druid craft to make anything that has gotten down here from years of damp, years of spores, years of phytoplankton, years of like anything, just light up with bioluminescence and phosphorescence and anything they've got.
That's all the essences.
Would you like to describe what this looks like as you could cast Druidcraft?
What?
Would you like to describe what it looks like as you could cast Druidcraft?
Sure. She's just gonna like touch a wall and drag a hand across, and where she does, any creature that was like previously either the spore colony was too small has just boomed. So now the walls anywhere on like that individual panel that she touched, even if it was like very far away from her hand, just start lighting up.
Yeah, so you drag your hand across this wall, and you notice that small little sparks, almost like little sunbursts, in this gorgeous teal blue color, just begin to light up on this panel. As you step through the water as well, you end up pushing aside tiny little blue sparks that just begin to light up and cast light across the rest of this room. And you start to recognize that anywhere a ripple ends up crashing against a wall or crashing against a stand, or anywhere one of your compatriots begins to walk, a just cascade of blue light erupts from around them, looking almost like stars that have been captured in water. As I noticed the biologists in my D&D group begin to get very happy.
If you don't know what this looks like, please look up bioluminescent phytoplankton. It's very pretty.
It is, quite frankly, magical. It's one of those things you do not believe is real until you see it. And even then, if you see it. Yeah. With that, it brings us to the end of our first round. Yuka, that does count as success. Cam, Fig, all of you are able to see in the basement now without any issues. And you are going to hear, basically, you all very distantly from the ground floor hear basically a large wave crash against the stone foundations of this building. On the model itself, as you were looking at the model, you see basically another portion of the dike had collapsed a little bit. And you're able to watch as that wave just comes towards you and comes towards where the naval building is on this map. And you watch as, again, a very small wave on this table, but massive in real life as you feel it just slam into this building, shudders the foundations a little bit. And you watch again as it travels further and further into the town. Kim, we are back up at the top
Around
with
the
you.
tavern looking.
Say again?
I'm gonna walk to the table because I can see now, which is great. First I want to look at how the walls around the Orc Lady's place are doing.
So you notice that this wave ended up crashing into this. Excuse me, hang on.
That's you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you,
Different type.
bless you, King.
You notice that as this wave crashes into this dirt and stone barrier that you had erected around this single neighborhood, it all seems to be holding up fine. You had the foresight as a sculptor to make the outer layer a bit harder than the inner layer so that it can sort of accept that no water is seeping through as far, or at least no additional water is seeping through. You do notice as
Just
you look
gonna
at the
have like
table,
a job well done nod.
you do notice as you look at the table, the library. Now, the library had not been in this area that you had built stones and walls around. Rather, the library had been being protected by a web of these small mechanical fireflies that were sending out a barrier that looked like it was created of arcing electricity, making a very translucent arcane barrier around the library. You watch as this wave crashes into this arcane barrier. And on the map, it's tiny, tiny, tiny little pinpricks of light, so small that it's even smaller than the phytoplankton that Yuka has caused to light up. But you notice that this like electric cage just around the outside of the library shrinks like it's being pressed in a little bit before expanding back out to its original size. You're not sure that it would be able to hold if the entire flood does show up and does crash through the city.
Great, love that. How certain am I that the buildings around here are abandoned except for the library and the tavern?
When you were at the library, during your building, you looked around and you saw that there were no other people in those nearby buildings. Rock also confirmed for you that everyone else in that area had been evacuated. Looking around here, Fig probably shared with you that he didn't see any signs of like people being active here right now. So you'd say that you're a little bit above 50% confident that there's no one here. However, there could be people that you missed.
Okay. Did Throgyn cast mending and it didn't do much, right?
Throgyn cast bending, he was able to figure out how the table works. He is also fairly confident that if he were to cast mending when you are actively making changes, it would start transmitting those changes into the full scale situation.
Damn. So theoretically, Cam could have the idea that they could cast a mass mold earth outside if they cast mold earth while the changes were being transmitted.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And can Cam safely assume that that would take a fuck ton of arcane energy from Throgyn?
It would take a lot of arcane energy from Throgyn. You would likely be able to give me an Arcana check really quick.
No, I wanted to avoid that. I'm not good at having away. Okay. I'm so sorry, arcane people.
I assume I can't help with that.
No, not right now. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. 17.
That's
In case you can't see.
17. No,
Okay.
it
Nice.
has not shown up on my end yet. With a 17.
and honestly, if Arcana is not one of your one of your best, that gives us a better chance if we have to use it later, because that penalty won't hurt us as much as it'll hurt your roll. So it's okay.
But like, would I realize that? Would I have the idea that the amount of changes I input would affect the amount of energy it would cost? So just
you are
fixing
able to
one wall
determine-
would cost less energy than changing the entire thing.
So you are able to determine with a 17 is that it is going to cost
Mhm.
Throgyn a lot of energy just to transmit the changes from here to there. It's not necessarily going to change the amount of energy required if you do more change, like a bigger change or a smaller change. However, you do know that doing more different changes is going to be a lot more difficult on Throgyn than doing like one change. Basically, you'll have to spend X amount of energy for every change that is implemented. You do also learn, that the way it is set up right now is if you were to just use a cantrip to change it, you would likely have to do many different cantrips to make sure that it is stable, to make sure that it is secure and it is not going to break down again. However, you are pretty sure that you are confident enough with sculpting and confident enough with this spell, with Mold Earth, that if you were to expend spell slots, you would be able to make your chances of success a lot greater while still only doing one or two changes.
Okay.
That is a success for this for these purposes.
Okay.
Or no,
So
sorry.
I wanna-
Rather, I should say that is a neutral, no positive, no negative. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to convey what I just learned in the most logical way possible. As in, it's the number of changes, not necessarily how big the change. And that I would like some help brainstorming how to not create a tidal wave as soon as you move Earth up to have this shockwave.
Yep, absolutely.
Towards the city. The one towards the sea I don't care about, but moving Earth up means shockwave both ways. Is no good.
Let's see. If I recall things. Also, one of my last classes in college was about water. Anyway.
My next exam will be about water.
I'm thinking of like doing like a sort of like scissor thing that like you get like multiple points of like earth up that are like pillars that go up instead of just like pushing it forward so that there's still like water to go through, but you're still getting things up. I don't know if that made sense at all.
Basically, instead of
But
pulling
it's
a line
like
up, you're pulling like comb prongs.
like a fork. Like a fork comes up from the ocean, and you've got points that start breaking the water tension, and then you get a I don't know, a solid base. I don't know if that works at all.
A big hand shape.
Fancy.
Let's see. What else doesn't cause other things? Just like texture. I'm also I don't know why this came straight to mind, but if anybody has seen like what is it, like any city builder game where you just like play with water mechanics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you do like anything that's like sort of zigzag shaped, that like the water, and then there are like or like there's like lines coming out from that, then the water goes into the zigzag and then like folds back on itself, so it hits the incoming water as it approaches, so it does basically like a U shape, U-turn for the force of the water. How do I know this? I don't know.
You played enough City Skylines.
But yeah, that's May's knowledge about this. That maybe Fig knows, sure.
Fig's a nerd, he knows things.
Yeah. I completely trust whatever you guys are doing. Do I just start transmitting? How does this work mechanically?
Mechanically, I would like you to expend a spell slot. and we'll count it as upcasting mending. So basically, for the next round until your next turn, any changes that are made to the table will be transmitted.
Okay.
But I do want to know what level spell slot you expend.
A higher level is going to be better, right?
Higher level is
I
going to be
don't-
better.
I don't know if I have second level yet.
You should.
Yeah, you do.
Remember.
Really.
I don't think
Yeah,
I
you
do.
do. Oh wait, artificer.
I'm level
never
4.
mind.
I have zero second level spell slots, so I only have one option.
That's fair. Then you will cast a first level spell. Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you guys ready?
I might. I would like to mention that if Throgyn doesn't seem to be powering through, I can cast a second level spell spot for mending. So I would like to sort of like prepare that.
Good.
A civil
They-
engineering slot.
Yeah, would that also work, or would that not work due to arcane things?
It will work, but it will
Or
have
could they share
unintended
it?
consequences. Because it will be
Mhm.
being
Okay,
cast
so-
from a
No!
religious spell slot instead of an arcane spell slot.
Okay, then I will just do it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you ready, Cam, for later?
Oh my god. Yes, sure.
Perfect. I cast mending on a
Beautiful.
first level spell slot.
Beautiful. You all watch as the table in front of you. Throgyn, what color is associated with your magic? Or what like physical effect?
A deep purple indigo. It looks kind of like stone dust in the wind. Yeah, so just like purple gusts of stone dust travel around the room and then light up the table.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Big, it is your turn. That is a success, Throgyn, by the way.
So yeah. As this currently happens, do I see any other changes on the table?
Nope.
Or is it-
You would be able to
Nope.
tell because I'm going to say that your identify is still active at the start of your turn.
Mhm.
You would be able to
Mhm.
tell that the magic that has been imbued in this table has become active. You know for sure that whatever changes are about to take place on the table will be transmitted. It looks like
Okay.
you can do as many changes as you guys want before Throgyn takes another action, and it will not require any additional energy from Throgyn.
Mhm. I suppose I basically ask Cam, do you need an extra pair of hands anywhere to hold some, I don't know, soil or push some soil in place? I have some muscles. I'm just not very skilled all the time in using them.
Would
So
physical manipulation of the model also work?
Do you think physical manipulation of the model would also work?
I don't
That's,
see why it wouldn't, but also there's no magic
I-
input, so it might cost Throgyn more, maybe?
I don't think it would work.
Yeah.
I kind
Well,
of
then-
feel like because like
Big.
the casting.
If you want to roll me an Arcana check, you can figure this out. It will be at a -2.
What?
yeah.
Evil.
I mean, I'm good with Arcana. I've got a regular +4 to it, but do we need that later?
We might
Do
need
you
it
need
later.
it later, Cam? You might need it later. Okay,
You
I
can
won't.
also just try it. Like you can put your hands on that table. Like don't
Okay,
plan
but-
just right.
Flooded
Question.
DM. I'm not gonna do that. Mhm.
Would there be like what they call Zen garden tools nearby or anything?
Oh,
Arcane tools? I might have them.
Like for Zen gardens where you do like
No,
the
yeah.
tiny
If you like poke,
tiny
like
brushes
if you
and
had
things.
like if you have a war table and you've got those little tools that like push people around.
you would notice that there's one of those it's not a rake, but it's like a flat hoe that you can just sort of like push things across the table with. You would also
Awesome.
notice
Does Fig
that
notice that?
you would also notice there's like a very long set of like they're like extended tweezers, so you could theoretically like pick up
Mhm.
individual buildings if you wished to.
Hmm.
Yeah, Fig, you notice these. All of you would notice these.
Then
And there's also like
if I
it's not with the table, but you notice that like stood on a different podium a little ways away is like a mess kit that has like
Mhm.
a fork, a knife, a spoon, a small shallow dish, and like a cup.
Mhm.
Can't we scoop
Oh,
water out?
you could I? Oh my god. Okay. So I can channel divinity,
Mhm.
and for 10 minutes I can have proficiency with chosen skills or tools of my choice.
Yep.
Um, so I would like to
I would like to be
have
proficient
that.
in Zen Garden.
Basically, yeah, I would like to do that. Have proficiency in tools to manipulate this table. I don't know how you'd like that to be described, but yes.
So what I want you to do is I want you to describe what it looks like when you channel your
Mhm.
divinity as Fig.
Okay. So as Fig sort of realizes that there are like implements to actively change something on the table, he like um so he's got his sensor that again, it's sort of like a not a very like active touch, but just like a sort of hand on it, close eyes, and then like sort of reaches out to hover above the tools that he
Mhm.
thinks he's going to use, which does include the cup, which is a very good idea. And sort of just like breathes in, breathes out, and then like maybe Fig feels something. I don't know. Um, depends
Fig.
on uh his feelings. It might be a chime, it might be a little like something. And
Fig.
then he
As
just
you
sort
have
of like
closed your
opens his
eyes.
eyes.
So Fig, as you have closed your eyes
Hmm.
and sort of put your hand out over these tools,
Yep.
you breathe in, and in the split second between finishing your breath in and beginning your breath out,
Yep.
you to say you see something would be wrong. You don't see it. Your eyes are closed. You are blind at this point.
Hmm.
What you do feel is as you're stood there, very similar to the way your identify spell, your detect magic spell, almost feels like a pulse out from you. You
Hmm.
feel in the air around you, and very specifically in the air above your hand, below your hand in your sensor, and above your hand above these tools. You see in your mind's eye, you feel in your mind's eye this symbol. And this is a symbol you've seen once before, Fig. And it is a symbol that you
Yep.
carry on you on your sensor, though you don't know what it means. Fig, you identify, you notice, you perceive that there is a symbol that is three eyes, very oblong, elliptical, pointed at the ends. One is vertical with a pupil in the center, and there are two that pull from the sides, almost as if tulip petals. You see that each of these has a slight, almost wrinkle at the edge of it, as if these are eyes that have seen a lot, that have laughed a lot, that have squinted and emoted for a very long time for many a reason. In your mind's eye, this is this like yellowy, mustardy color. And Big, it feels to you very homely, very comforting. It is a library with old books and that gorgeous smell. It is the feeling you get when you step into a beloved mentor's office, but it is also the feeling you get when you walk into a conference room or a presentation room full of young upstarts who are presenting their first ever paper. And just as quickly as it takes you to switch from breathing in, breathing out, you feel a crack. And there's something there. It's behind, maybe, for whatever purpose behind feels like. It is green, it is bright, it is piercing. It is not this comforting feeling. Rather, it feels like pus. It feels like sharp glass. It feels very cutting in a very, very unusual and uncomfortable and visceral way. And I am going to want you to roll me something that is outside of the skill check here. I want you to roll me a D8.
Okay. I'm going to use. I have a button that says to use ability, so I'm
Yep.
going to press that. And then here's it. Just D8. That work? Remember things? Nope. How do I roll this? Right. Do we roll?
Do a barrel roll.
Big. Jeff,
Oh no, the real name.
you feel at the edges of this. It hurts to look at. Every single instinct in your body is telling you you need to look away. You need to, whatever you do, do not see this, do not witness this. And you stare back. You notice that at the very edges, at the very, very center of this green, just disgusting detritus that is hidden behind your holy symbol. Seeping through, there is purple. And this is a purple fig that you have seen before. You open your eyes, Fig, and
Yep.
a few things have changed. The first thing that has changed is you have gained proficiency with these tools that you have selected.
Yep.
The second thing that has changed is if your compatriots are to look at you, and if you are to look in a mirror, you notice that the edges of your iris have begun to have this same mustard color encroaching in from the outside. Your pupil, your lens, not your lenses, but the front part of your eye is a little bit cloudier, almost as if cataracts are in the very early stages of forming. However, Fig, if you look at your holy symbol, you are able to see that corruption inside of it. And you're pretty confident that you could remove that if you wanted. You think that whatever this corruption is not intrinsic to wherever you draw. Would you like to use those tools on this turn, or?
I might do a small test.
Yeah.
With like maybe with I don't want to fully affect it. I don't know if I don't want to have Throgyn. No, I won't do a small test. We're not doing a small test. Sorry, we're not gonna waste Throgyn's magic. Anyway.
Anything within this turn for everyone was just one spell slot, right?
So until your next turn, it's just one spell slot.
Yeah,
so
so
my
if you want, you
changes
can
will
test.
add to your test.
Yeah, I'd rather have Cam use
Okay.
that you're currently?
It doesn't cost anything extra. Sorry, let me be very, very clear here. May, if you were to do something right now, Cam can still do something on Cam's turn, and it will cost Throgyn no extra resources. The only thing that will
Oh,
cost Throgyn
okay.
an extra resource is if Throgyn needs to recast spending his next turn.
Got it. Then it's going to be again, yeah, a small, and I will do a small test. Where
No.
we're is there at all on the board like the little tiny sandbags or anything that people placed in front of the building we are at
You would be
currently?
able to look, and you can see that there is a line of sandbags further away from the coast than the library that you could pick up as you wish. You did see these walking into the town as well, so you can see that they are in the same location. You remember them. There are also sandbags slightly submerged in front of the model of the naval headquarters that you guys are currently stood in.
Yeah. If I see any sandbags that are like further out in the city that are like currently submerged and like not doing anything, I would like to take them and put them on top of the ones in front of the naval house.
You can absolutely do this. I will ask you for a sleight of hand check. You get to add tool proficiency.
Yeah. Sleight of hand, sleight of hand. Huh. I'm not great at that. What would be tool proficiency
Your
then?
proficiency bonus
That's...
and your wisdom modifier. You are a wisdom-based cleric.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so much wisdom in this party. No charisma.
Hey, I have a little.
You had charisma, and now he's gone because he sucked.
We hate Vassal in this house. Just quiet him. Get that bard out of here.
I don't know where's that. I can't change that. Okay, so it's whatever I roll plus 3 because
Sure.
I can't add it right there.
It's gonna be an 11.
So
You are able
yes.
to you were able to pick up these sandbags. You were able to move them around, and you are able to place them in front of the Navy building. However, you're not able to quite get them close enough to stack on top of the ones that are already there. You do notice, all of you would notice this, except for maybe Throgyn, as you have to focus really, really heavily on this table. You would hear basically the sound of something falling into the water above you. And Yuka, because you were focused right now on druid crafting a lot of these aquatic critters, you would very specifically notice that there have been ripples in the water above you, like heavy items being dropped.
Is
Interesting.
what I wanted to see, because I wanted to have it be close enough that we could actually tell if something was being affected.
You can tell that something has been affected.
Yep.
Yuka, it is your turn.
Where is my help most needed at this moment exactly? Cam, Throgyn, Fig.
Making sure we...
Honestly, making sure we have a way out. Because the wall I made is not gonna last forever. And the water will not be happy about being moved.
Okay. What does the most, basically what is the most like perilous part of the secured exit right now that something could be done to prevent further damage on?
I would also allow you to hold your action in case something happens during nature's turn. You would be able to respond to it.
I can do that. An idea that I had was turning into an octopus and stretching out the arms to prevent water from spouting through to redirect like the most immediate stuff.
The most adorable Tom Thumb I've ever heard of.
Hey, is
Question.
there anything in this basement that's a boat?
There
I'm gonna
is
look for a
boat.
boat.
Yes, do you want a boat?
I'm looking for boats.
There's boats. The ship
Candace
in a
Reyes,
bottle,
what's up?
even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rose?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Come.
When we entered through the first floor window
Yep.
that we unlatched and then we got in.
Yep.
Did we actually close that?
No.
Go close that real quick.
Thank you.
That's what Yuka does on her turn. She's going upstairs to close the window.
You were sprinting up these stairs all fours as the Lord Bastille taught you. And you get there right as you watch like a big wave of water just go sloshing in the window, and you're like, oh, that would have been bad had we not closed this.
Thank you, Yuka. I love you.
I think you should also look for like boats like Life Raft. I'm like,
Yes, I am looking for the lifeboat man.
So you have closed this window. I would also like you to make me an athletics roll. You can wild shape and have a strength bonus according to whatever you wild shape into if you wish. It will be an athletics.
Hang on, I have to do a really quick check of something.
I believe the athletics check for your special form is a +2.
Yep, yeah. Could I turn into a kelp verdant form?
Yes, you may. So, this is the first time you are using your verdant form. Would you like to describe to everyone what it looks like and what it is?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so with verdant form, there is a very obvious like green inhuman plant and fungal and all other non-human, non-animal force that comes over Yuka, basically transforming her body and her person into something that is very obviously more plant-like and foreign and alien. The skin turning green, the features becoming more leaf-like, more like the veins becoming like more obviously like xylem and phloem rather than blood filled. The ground around her, very important, also turns into more verdant as well. This is the feature that leaves the trail behind, correct?
Yes, it is. So you will watch as
Beautiful.
Yuka basically transforms, and a lot of you
We
have
can't see this.
seen.
They can't see it.
We're downstairs.
No, I'm upstairs.
Ah, that's right. No, of course.
No one notices.
So you would
A
not see this.
hypothetical person.
The hypothetical person who has watched our previous broadcasts and has learned who the Lady Verdant is would know that the Lady Verdant tends to present herself as a conglomeration of plants in the rough shape of a human being. And Yuka, her physical form, her half-elf self, starts to melt away, and just the light shifts as Sunny K described. The blood begins to turn into more xylem, begins to turn into more phloem, until at the end of this entire transformation, Yuka is standing in, I forget the radius exactly, but in a radius of sea kelp that is sprouting out from the ground around her, and also appears to be her. Where Yuka stands, you see the same silhouette. You see the same strong shoulders, powerful thighs, even the same wide brimmed hat. But all of it is made now out of this red kelp that twists together, and as like a visage of an arm moves, you see the cords wrapping around each other, almost revealing how a human muscle would move together.
Cool.
This is actually a custom subclass that I had made for this campaign called the Circle of the Steward, which was done by a dear friend of mine. And as soon as I get information from him on if he wants his DM's Guild linked, I will link it.
Okay, I think I have to polymorph this.
Yes, you do have to
I don't-
polymorph this.
Did we? Oh god,
Literally just
what?
pick a thing that looks like a plant.
Okay, that works for me.
And they give me that athletics check with a +2. It is also worth noting that the plants that grow around Yuka while she's in this form do count as difficult terrain, and do have a chance to entangle any enemies that walk through. So that's pretty neat. I like my druids to have fun abilities. I also like all of my players to have fun abilities.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Plant. Sorry. I should have had
Plant.
this ready to go, and I didn't have it ready to go.
There.
That's all right. It only took us until, what, session 9 for you to use your fancy subclass feature?
Vine Blight sounds appropriate.
Yeah, be a Vine Blight.
We'll go with that. Keep vision. Keep proficiencies. I think. No. Okay.
That's all right.
Just
me
roll it with a
It's
roll
plus
me
fine.
an
It's
athletics
fine.
with a
It's
+2.
fine. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Athletics +2.
Mhm.
Well, it really does not want to behave. So believe me when I tell you that it's just going to be a +2 to the roll.
Sure. I see no reason my players would lie to me.
This is all on the record. Like, there's no. God damn it! God damn it!
Oh no, what just got rolled? What
It's
horrible number just got rolled?
She gets a 9.
+2.
She gets a 9. She gets a 9. She gets a 9. It's fine.
9. Oh no. Yuka, you do transform into this creature. And unfortunately, because it is your first transformation, you think that you've gotten everything latched appropriately. You think you think it's gonna hold. However, this does count as a failure. So I believe this is your first failure as a group.
Sorry, gang. We made it really far.
Yeah.
Which is
Mhm.
good. How many successes do we still have?
Like 3 or 4. You've got quite a few.
We're okay. We'll be okay.
You're good. What you notice is as your turn ends, Yuka, as you're trying to stand there, sort of trying to get your bearings, as your entire way of perceiving the world has changed now. You no longer
She's
have
used
eyes,
to
you no
doing
longer
this
have
a lot
ears.
less wet.
Wet is weird. Wet is weird. You watch as you feel tremors in the water around you. You feel the currents increase. And you notice that while you had latched the window, you had misjudged how powerful it was going to be, and you really needed to have been physically holding the shutters shut. As right now, they basically burst inward, and you do see water begin to rush into the building.
Shit.
It is not fast by any means right now. It looks like it looks like the 3 of you in the basement would be able to spend a whole nother round in the basement easily. Past that, you would need to start holding your breath.
Mhm.
Or doing
Okay.
something else to, fight the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are back at the top of the round with Cam.
Yeah. Cam's aware that stuff's happening. And stuff's being transmitted. Big fucked about a bit, and then we heard a response, so that's working. And Cam really wants to do this in 2 turns, but that's likely not gonna be possible. So Rose listened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cam's just gonna have to improvise this on their own and realize that just a plain ball's not gonna cut it. So we're gonna fix it with a whole bunch of forks straight up, like across where the barrier is.
Yep.
And then also try and how do I want to say it? Like create a bit of a groove after that, just wavy grooves that the water would just be able to sink in a bit.
Yep.
Just lower the earth there a bit, just to create some more space for water.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, You're basically, if this is the ground, sort of doing one of these. Where like this bit goes down, this bit goes up.
Yeah, but the bit that goes up is like forks, so it
Yeah.
doesn't like interrupt the water, just gonna break the tension. And then
Absolutely.
the lower bit is on the city side. So there's just more space for water
Absolutely.
in the hope that it doesn't create a tidal wave towards the city.
Absolutely. Are you upcasting Molder?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Second level.
Second level. Is that your highest level spell slot right now?
Yep.
I think that's anybody's, yeah.
All right. You,
I don't-
Chamomile, please explain to me what it looks like as Chamomile is physically changing this table.
Chamomile is not necessarily a fleshy person. Things just kind of happen without them being too aware of it. So most of the time, their magic doesn't look like much. But here, you don't see much, but you do smell a bit of like fresh cut grass, like grinding of wheat, a bit like typical farmer smells that are not manure. Like all the good things about home.
Yeah, absolutely. Throgyn, you would absolutely see this. Fig, you would see this as well. You watch as this, what looks to be a very malleable clay. Again, it's wet sand, so it's very easy to shape it. It holds its shape fairly well. It bursts through the water exactly as Cam describes. And with a second level spell slot, you are going to be able to actually span the entire width of that dyke. Yeah. Yuka. You are going to see outside, or more feel outside in the currents. You feel as the water pulls away from this building. The water level lowers. And through your senses, it almost feels as if the breeze from the sea has gotten a little lighter, a little less strong. Fig, Throgyn, Cam, you all don't necessarily hear anything different until you notice that the waves that have been very reliably crashing against the building are suddenly a little bit quieter. You get the distinct sense that you have done something that has helped quite a lot. This is a success. This is, I do believe, your 5th success. And you may leave the skill challenge at this point if you wish to. You may also continue to make changes if you wish to.
I think it's best to keep making changes, right? To
How
like
are you
further
on energy?
reinforce.
How are you on energy? That's the important one.
I still have 2 spell slots left.
And now in character words, I don't
Yes.
know what a spell slot is.
You know, it's tiring, but it's important to keep the city afloat. I'm
What-
doing good enough.
What would we
Look at
need
that.
to change in your opinion?
I don't know if it's sturdy enough. Generally, yeah, I'm used to more sturdy structures than just sand. I would think that you would need some further reinforcement to actually make sure that the dike holds.
And we should be seeing changes on the table in real time, so we can.
Saying that, Fig, you do notice that the wall that Cam had built up is completely solid. You see that only the tallest waves are actually crashing over it right now, and that's likely going to remain standard throughout the storm as of right now. You do notice that the water level in the city has begun to recede, where the previous line of sandbags had been is no longer touching the water. It is no longer submerged, and it is actually starting to pull out about the level of where the library is. The library is at the coastline now.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to try to get more water out?
I will actually just flip over to the map very quickly as well, so you guys can see on stream. Basically, where it had previously been at that first canal, now it is where that big hexagonal building is. You've freed up quite a lot of the city, all things considered.
Okay.
I would also recommend we are not like probably technically engineers in dike repairs, so maybe a quick fix and then leaving the rest to the professionals might not be a bad idea.
Does it look like enough has been freed up that the actual naval team can come back in and do the remainder of the repairs and do the
Like-
the restorative engineering?
So,
Isn't this-
because that makes them sick, right?
so you
Yeah,
would
and the building is
know-
going to keep flooding, right?
So you would know that as of right now, Cam does seem to have done enough changes. Cam and Throgyn have seemed to have done enough changes that it is not going to get worse during the storm. However, it is still going to require quite a lot of like arcane personnel and naval personnel to start working on actually evacuating the water from the city.
I have a cup, guys.
The risk of pulling naval personnel to actually start working on the pumps, to start working on shape and new water, is it's going to be taking people away from the pandemic response and would risk getting mages ill if they have to work side by side with other mages.
We can try to get a little bit
let
more
her
done.
fly.
So this being said, Throgyn,
Mhm.
it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it again. I think last time worked well. I think we should do a little bit more.
All right,
I think
Throgyn.
it's easy enough for us to do more, so we will. We should.
I am going to do the Constitution saving throw for you as you start to realize just how much focus it takes to keep transmitting this much magical energy. Your
Yes.
DC is 10.
Wait, this saving throw, not ability check.
A saving throw.
Where do I find the saving throws again?
It's at the actual like Constitution
Main
stat.
sheet top. On mine, it's like top right on like the main page.
I think I'm gonna call this after this round, by the way, guys. Just because I'm starting to get a bit tired.
That's fair.
Oh, wait, I did it wrong. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries.
It wasn't any better.
It
Wasn't any worse.
No, to be fair, a 10 is enough. Like, meets it, beats it. So, Throgyn, you notice that you were starting to get very, very tired as you expelled this much energy towards this table, towards keeping this spell up, and towards keeping these changes going. And Throgyn, what you're going to feel is you basically feel your magic stretching between this table here and like the dyke that is just hours and hours away by boat, is you feel as if you are the one doing the manual labor. It feels as if you've been walking around all day. You're a dwarf. You've been in a mine before. You have the day when you're in elementary school. It's like, find out what career is right for you. And you remember that one of the tasks is just smithing. And you were so excited for it. You got to like throw the big hammer, make the sparks. It was the coolest thing you'd ever done to little you. But the next day, your shoulders were so sore. And it felt like your arms were cooked noodles. And that's what you're starting to feel like now. You have the very distinct sense that if you cast this again, the DC is going to be much harder. This, however, does succeed, and any changes made this round until the start of your next turn will be transmitted outside. Big.
Would we be able to tell that Throgyn is suffering more than they're telling us?
Cam, with your insight, you would be able to tell that he's getting very tired. It's not necessarily that he's suffering, it's just that like you can tell that the work is taking its toll.
Great, we're gonna keep this annoying bastard alive. God damn it.
Fair enough.
And since I'm the one who knows stone, we're gonna go.
Big, what would you like to do?
So let's see, how many things can I do? So first, I'd like to see where the water level is now compared to the previously put out sandbags that the city obviously put out.
Yeah, it's a very severe difference. The water level is much much closer to where it originally was rather than where the sandbags are.
Yep. So as long as all the sandbags are basically like now on more dry land versus underwater, I'm not gonna move them. If there are any, I might just like scooch them one way or the other, and then with my cup, I'm going to take any standing water that I see that might be in like weird dips or like shallow bits of roads otherwise, and just like pour them outside of
Now, when you say outside, where are you
I
pouring
would
them? Are
say
you pouring them out of the table? Are you pouring them inside the table on the
not
outside of the dike?
yeah, it'd be like I would say out I would hope outside of the dike if I can't like if I feel like restraint or like put resistance at all, then it'll just be in the dip that Cam had formed.
So the dip is already full of water, just so you are aware of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep.
Basically, a lot of the water receded into that already. What
Yeah,
you can
so
do to
maybe
me, or what you can do for me, is you can roll me a sleight of hand.
mhm.
You will take a -2 to
Yep.
it. You may still add your tool proficiency.
Okay. Gonna be iffy.
Give me a wisdom sleight of hand. Go on. I want the
Yep.
internet to be mad at me. I very much do not want the internet to be mad at me.
He's gone mad.
Funny.
Yep, so and then actually no, I put the okay, so then they should just get a +2
Oh
because
no.
they'll be
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's a
What?
6.
Uh-oh. Big, what happened?
I'll
Big,
let
what?
you
Hey,
see it
Big.
organically.
Big, what
Oh
happened?
dear.
It's a 6. I like fumble and I drop the cup.
Big, you have a cup of water and you're trying to very, very carefully like pour it outside the dike so it doesn't splash, so it doesn't come, inside. And just the cup's a
Mhm.
little bit wet. You're very nervous
Yep.
and you drop it.
Yeah.
Yuka, you're standing
Um,
upstairs.
here's a fun visual image if you want to hurt Yuka a little bit more. Verdant formed would have just dropped, so now she's standing in all of the kelp and just
Yuka,
looking.
you've dropped your verdant form. The kelp is still there. You're like, okay, well, you know what? At least the water level's gone down. It's not coming through the open window. Everything's fine. And then you just hear like a and water just comes streaming in through the window and throws you back against one of the walls.
You
Oh,
hear
no.
So
her.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
You hear her like bark like a startled wolf. Like
So that is a failure. I will say that is a failure.
Yep.
we're
That's
two
two.
we're
Yep.
2 versus 5. I think we're still doing
Yep.
okay.
Yuka, it is your turn. Actually, I will before I continue and say Yuka, it is your turn. Throgyn, Cam, Fig. You
Mhm.
hear this crash outside.
Yep.
And then just a couple of seconds later, like a split second later, you see water begin streaming down the stairs. You are fairly confident that you will be swimming.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Big is
So
Okay.
yeah.
what is okay, I'll wait till my turn.
Okay. All right. Maybe we can do this. Yuka's going to recycle all of the kelp that came from the verdant form and just use it to bar up the window.
Okay. Druidcraft, I assume?
Yeah.
Give me a nature check. -2.
Okay.
Any nature before?
No, but you've used verdant form before, and I'm making it hard.
Where? Why? What did we do to
Damn
deserve
it.
getting bullied?
The longer it goes, the harder it gets.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
14?
A 14 is enough. You are able to bar up the window. You are able to bar up the window and prevent any new water from coming in by just basically weaving it together like it's a basket.
Mm.
We have a new success.
Yeah, you do have a new success. And that is the end of the round.
God.
So, what
Yeah,
is going to happen?
Fig is discouraged and wants to leave.
What is going to happen is you watch as, again, the three of you in the basement, you see water streaming down the stairs. Very, very quickly, the water level is rising. Throgyn, at this point, it's about up to your chest. You are very confident you will be able to hold the spell until your next turn. However, after that, again, you're already kind of tired. You can tell that the water is going to be above your head. It's starting to look maybe a bit unfortunate. Your feathers are very wet, and it's not great.
I don't like having wet feathers.
To
Out here
you,
looking like a
Yuka,
BP oil spill bird.
get that man some Dawn. Not sponsored. Other dish soaps are available.
Fun fact, Dawn is made by the same parent company that owns BP.
Supply and demand, huh? Anyways, go on, clip it. Killed feather. Hang on.
Or if they're not owned, they had a very direct partnership. That I know.
So, Yuka, you would notice as the water is now, it's not rising anymore. You don't think that any more water is going to come inside until something starts to give in this building. But again, you're starting to get the feeling that like you guys are getting very, very tired. This has been a very high stress situation. Like you're not entirely sure what's going on anymore. That is the top of the round. Cam, what would you like to do?
Given that Fig changed something and definitely things happened, I know the spell's still active.
Yep.
If I look at the board, what damage has Fig's cup dropping done?
There is a cup sitting in the bay.
I mean structurally for the city.
Structurally for the city. Thank you. You notice that by and large, not much. It looks like there was enough water that had been removed by you making those dips that even the splash and like the waves caused by that, they did not exceed the sandbags that had been previously placed. The barrier around the library is still stable. It is still there. You do see that there appears to be some sort of basket weaving or like plant weaving across one of the windows of the naval building that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like the tidal wave, while it did basically hit the city with a large force of water, it also splashed some of the water out to the other side of the dike. So it has been a net positive. Kind of.
Except for poor Yuka who got flushed.
Except for poor Yuka who got smushed.
Okay.
I know we're wrapping up soon. I have an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea.
Is it a funny
Bad
idea?
ideas are the best ideas.
I think we need to ask for Taffeta's help.
Yeah, but
She's not around.
I don't think
right?
that's not an immediate.
No.
That's not within like the
Okay.
next 3 minutes.
And we
No.
remove the cup.
I'm not
mean-
gonna touch the cup because I'm not very good at non-magically creating detailed shit.
We're not going to be able to remove the. I can't do this again.
Cam, what'd you like to do?
It'd be you, Cam, or no one. So
Okay. Is there a giant physical cup out in the world now?
You're in a basement.
Like, if I had to guess,
Yuka's scanning the
what we figured
horizon.
Yuka,
There
you're
would be a
looking
giant
into the
cup.
city.
Yeah.
You're looking into the city. You can't see. There's plants in front of the
Okay.
window.
So we can't see the bay. All right, great, cool.
There would
Okay,
likely be
so-
a giant
okay.
cup.
Counter argument. This is just an infinite material glitch. You just take a tiny cube or something and drop it in here, and then you have a big cube or something. Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave the cup to the people that are trained to not fuck this shit up further. The spell, however, is still active, so I do wanna make the divot slightly more deep and just raise the barrier slightly more, and I'll burn another 2nd level spell slot.
Absolutely. I want you to make me a sleight of hand check, wisdom tool bonus, or wisdom proficiency bonus.
So I'm just gonna pretend it's perception because then I know my thingies.
Sure.
Because sleight of hand is dex and perception is wisdom,
Cheers. Yeah.
and I'm proficient. And minus what?
I don't remember anymore. Make it -2.
Yeah, because they only did one main working.
So that's still a plus something. Oh fuck. That's a 7.
So 7. Cam, you are
Mhm.
able to make the divot lower, make the wall higher. However, you're gonna have to make a choice here. As
Uh-huh.
you notice, taking this dyke any higher is going to mean that you actually hit the bottom of the table. You can make the dyke higher, however, it does mean that you will have basically dug a hole through this table.
Yeah,
or
no.
you can leave the dyke where it is and the table will stay as is right now.
Yeah, I'll leave the table. I'm not fucking with the limitations to a magic item.
Sure.
We'll leave
Sounds
that to the nerds.
You are able to just sort of, because you still have the spell active, you're still able to basically make some changes in this area. You smooth out the dyke that you've already made a little bit, you make it a little bit sturdier, clean up any cracks or debris that started to fall off already that you can see. And just spending that little bit of extra time, you are very confident in what you have made, that it will not fall apart today.
Great, love that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell us to get the hell out of here.
Would you like to
and
move
just
upstairs?
and just go.
You go.
Yeah, I go.
Yep, Cam books it.
Okay, question. Could I still have my shape water active as a hydrophobic film around me?
So while you were casting mold earth, it would have touched you, the water would have touched you.
Oh no.
But now that you are focused on the water, you were able to honestly, it looks almost as if Cam takes a step and you know how in Moana the movie, the ocean just kind of pushes away from Moana? It does that.
Love that.
You see some of the phytoplankton just makes a little glowy barrier around Cam.
Yeah, Cam's not gonna notice, but Cam is gonna be annoyed about having gotten wet.
Fair enough. Throgyn, it is your turn.
I try to go up and leave as quickly as possible.
You are fully able to do that. You are not swimming yet. You're able to walk upstairs. It's actually making
Perfect.
it a little bit
How
easier
wet
because,
are my feathers?
You are so wet right now. It is wet. It is dripping. However, because you are in the water, your backpack feels a lot lighter right now, which is quite nice.
Not encumbered yet.
You're not encumbered. Yeah, no. You are wet though.
Anymore. Not encumbered anymore.
Correct. Would you like to do anything else on your turn?
I pull Fig along with me.
Fig, you are being pulled upstairs.
Yeah, I don't resist unless I take one last look around to see it for any flotation devices.
You do actually see one of those flotation rings. It's
Yep.
Oh, I forget what they were made out of, but it's corded rope around some sort of cork core. You can take it if you want.
Yeah, if it's on my way out, I will grab it and hook it over my shoulder.
It was hung on the wall by a hook, and you just take it with you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna assume you all head up to the 2nd floor. And you are able to see basically the top floor is a single office. You walk up the stairs, there's a door in front of you. It is a single office room. And as you push open the door, you see that it is gorgeous. Now, this room you notice is not carpeted. Rather, it has wooden flooring that you can tell has been very lovingly sanded until it was almost completely smooth. Even like the bits between floorboards had been filled in with what looks to be like a terracotta or a clay, so that there were very few bumps in the floor. You see that there is a massive desk standing in the center of the table. There's a small model ship on a like a fireplace on a mantle placed to one side. You would see that along one wall there are small portraits of various different port admirals over the years. The most notable ones of the last few years, there is what looks to be a tiefling woman. She's red skinned and has these gorgeous swirling cloud tattoos that are just barely visible on her neck above the collar of her jacket. And you can tell that the little what's it called, like the engraving, says that she had functioned as port admiral for the 200 years prior to about 50 years ago. Previous to her, there was a ginger fellow, human, very old by the time his portrait was taken. And, before then, some others as well. You notice that there is only one way out of this room. And that is through a window that is currently barred with iron.
Yep.
So, Fig, I do believe it is your turn. Unless, Throgyn, you do still have an action for this turn if you have something you would like to do.
If I could try to, like, is it lockpickable, or should I try to just use a melee weapon?
It is not lockpickable. These are actually iron bars that have been drilled directly into the stonework. Whoever was in this office did not want people getting in from this direction or out from this direction.
Yeah, this is like Baltimore apartment theft prevention level bars.
Yeah. You would notice because you have stone cutting. You would notice that the stonework here around the wrought iron is newer than the rest of the building, so there might be a slight weak point between the new brick and the old brick.
Okay.
Or the older walls might be weaker in general.
I try to attack.
Absolutely. Give me a melee check.
I attack the stone.
I attack. I have an ammo hammer. I think that's better than a light hammer, right?
Quick question: are you attacking the bars or the
stone? You said that the stone was a bit weaker, right?
Yes.
Then I'm attacking the stone.
Great. So it will be an automatic hit. Roll to see if you crit. Damage is going to be what's most important here.
That's a dirty crit.
All right. So it's not going to be a crit. However, please do roll for damage. Three. With a hammer, you are going to watch as you land a very solid hit on this wall. And you see that actually where the new stone meets the old stone starts to slip out, almost as if that grout is starting to sort of give way a little bit, like you're pushing out a Jenga block. You think one more good hit will do it. Fig, it is your turn.
Anyway, I have a spell called Spiritual Weapon.
Yes, you do.
Let me see. I have not done this yet. Let me see if can I. Okay, so it looks like I can cast it and attack on the same turn.
Yeah.
That's what I was checking. casting time's a bonus action. Look at that. I don't know what that is, but sure. So oh, okay. So this is a fun one. On the map, this has just appeared for me that I didn't know what it was, but it gives me an actual casting area for
That's
the
so fun.
template of the attack.
Yay!
That's fun.
Whoa, look at
Not
Foundry
relevant
go.
in this map, but very cool.
Hang on, I can switch over.
Um,
I can switch
I-
over so that they can actually see the map. There you go.
Go, nerdy boy, go!
Go, nerdy boy! Cast a spell!
Yeah. So I'll just put it here because I just needed to click for my mouse. But yes. So it's the I can create a floating spectral weapon that lasts the duration or until I cast the spell again, and I can make a melee spell attack against a creature, or in this case a wall, within 5 feet.
Yep, I will let you use it this way this time. In future, that creature tag is going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
So, make me a melee spell attack, or a melee attack, please.
But what if my god has a thing against walls?
Something tells me that the very specific god Fig is following does not have a thing against walls.
Mm-hmm.
18 will
Yeah.
hit, absolutely will
That's
not crit, but it will hit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if I had a 19, that would have crit. So close. Right. I mean,
It was worth a shot.
Mm-hmm. And then roll for damage. Yes.
Yes, please roll for damage. What is that?
That did not like that. Oh. It did not. Nope. Okay.
No?
Something did not quite work right. I get an error
Oh no,
thing
just
for that.
do a /R.
So it's yeah. So /R. It's a 1d8 and my spell casting modifier, which is just big come back. Where are you?
I need you. Please don't disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Piggy boy.
Big, please.
You have a dice? There's a dice. There you go.
Do more than 1 damage, please. That's more than 1 damage. Yeah.
It is more than 1 damage.
Throgyn, you watch as you barely get these sort of stones to push against each other, and then Fig just out of nowhere, sort of like in his hand, just all of a sudden he's single hand wielding a massive smithing hammer, like
Mm-hmm.
comedically large, incredibly intricately designed. You actually see that it has what appears to be braille engravings all the way up and down the handle. And just almost as if Fig is thinking about it more than actually physically doing the attack, this hammer just crashes into the wall and just pushes the bars and the window just out. And you watch as it falls a little bit, like tumbles against the wall a little bit and then splashes into the ocean. You are all free to leave at your own leisure.
Can I see that hammer?
Yeah, you can see the hammer. It's translucent. It's like
Can I can I hold it, Fig? Can I?
Gimme, basically.
I will say if I try, I'll do it with a smirk on my face. That as I try to hand it over toward Throgyn, and if I start to drop it into Throgyn's hand, I think it just falls straight through their hands.
I like it. I'll allow it.
I
Yuka's
don't
out
know
of there.
the physicality of it.
She's fucking
Yep.
out of there, dude.
Yuka's out of there.
I
Yuka's
just want to
leaving.
see your hammer.
Where's
She-
the water relative to the window?
It's about a floor down right now.
So it could have just gone down a floor. Great.
Yeah. So
She
As
casts
you
spider
all-
climb on herself and is out of there.
So Yuka's spider climbs out of the window, and the rest of you leave like normal people.
Mhm.
Yuka, I love you. You
Well, it's a
all-
tall building, right? So she's
It's a
just gonna
tall
walk down the wall.
You all step out of there. And you're able to basically pull up a pillar of earth. At this point, it takes you a little bit longer to actually do that because now you're starting to feel the effects of having to cast so many spells in such a small amount of time. You all step outside and for a brief moment are blinded by the bright sunlight that you see outside. Even through the gray clouds above you, it is still so much brighter than it was inside and especially in the basement. But for a moment, it dazzles you. And as you step outside and as you gather your bearings, you can see that true, the model in the basement, the water level in Baratara has receded. I will update the map for next time to show you where that has moved to. But more
I have
importantly,
a question.
Yes.
Is there a
cup
giant
in the
cup?
water?
Would you two give me 2 seconds to do my monologue? And as you turn
No.
towards the bay,
Oh,
as you turn towards the bay, you notice that there, sitting in the bay, is a cup. It is a cup that is the same size as a mountain. And that is where we are going to end today, my dearest players.
Infinite money glitch. Let's go.
You guys good? You guys having fun?
I should have dropped like a copper coin in there.
Ah.
that would have
That is-
killed people.
That is where
Ah.
we are ending the session for today. Next week, I predict that you guys will be heading back to the library, at least to check in, if nothing else. You would also know that Taffeta is currently at the library as well, if that is somebody you do want to talk to.
Yep.
Aside from that, I will try and figure out if you guys get to level up from this or not. I'm going to do a
That's
little
fine.
bit of the next arc planning to see if I want you guys at level 5 or not to unlock the next set of
Oh no.
abilities. I'm just
I will
not
say,
entirely sure yet. So. Aside
one
from that,
thing,
yes, ma'am.
I've got one more second level spell slot, which I will do another protection from poison, like probably just on the wettest of us, which will be Throgyn.
It will be thrown. It will be thrown.
Can you also give me a towel?
No,
I don't like
I don't
being
think I've
wet.
got one on me. I'm sorry.
Shit.
Mhm.
Cam, you could just like water bend the water off of Throgyn.
Mhm.
Oh, I could.
Mhm.
You just like hear a voice in your head telling you that you can do this.
Thank you so much. I'm a dry bird again. This is better.
Dry bird.
Bye, bird.
You don't get to call me dry bird. Only I do.
Well, wet bird then, and I moved the shaved water just
No!
slightly closer to.
For fans of the occult, would highly recommend listening to the episode of the podcast, the frightful howls you may hear, episode 6 Degrees of Tom Dryberg. Thank you.
I feel like you're
That's a
going to
good one.
link this in the Discord because Feather seems very interested.
I
So
can do that.
Yeah.
with that being said, we are going to start signing off for the night. My dearest players, before you guys start waving very, very aggressively, I know at least one person has things to plug. Does anyone else want to plug anything after Sunny K? Okay. We're gonna go Sunny K first, then I saw Feather's hand up. So Sunny K.
Hey, sunnyk.bandcamp.com, HEYSUNNYK.bandcamp.com for the single that is available for download for $1 United States music. Support an indie artist. Support someone who's trying to make more music and put it out while also juggling graduate school. Ah,
I will also
Um,
mention that the song that you will hear during our end card has also been written by Sunny K. That one is a very rough track, very rough demo that I am using against Sunny K's better judgment, I guess.
the Baratara Navy song demo will be on eventually, as well as a new single in probably 2 months. We're trying to release some things in time for Halloween.
You can also find the
We'll
link
see if it
to
can get
Sunny
done.
K's Bandcamp on the YouTube VOD. It will be down in the little description, so no need to even type in that URL.
Oh my god, thanks.
Yeah. Feather, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I have an incredible friend. You've seen him DM it before, I think. And I think you should all follow him. He's got a Patreon, he's got a YouTube channel. You should do all that stuff because he's incredible. Yeah, I hope you liked this session. I hope you liked his DMing. Yeah,
He
follow
gives
him. He's
great
incredible.
advice on starting your own D&D campaigns and how to manage, emotions as tensions run high, or how to deal with problem solving and world building in his free YouTube content. So go give him some love and attention so he can get a bigger following.
Thank you both.
He lets me bully a bird. I'm happy.
I'm gonna bully you back next time I see you.
I can move water. You don't like
Rose.
water. I found your weakness.
You don't like water either.
I don't bitch about it.
Follow Nalise,
We have a-
Nalise RPG on YouTube. Follow Nalise on Patreon. Follow Nalise on Coffee. Give them money. Give Nalise money.
Please
He
do not give
deserves
me
some.
money if it is outside of your means to do so.
Okay, yes. Please pay him responsibly. But if you like what we do, it's a great way to support the creator directly and allow him to make more cool stuff for everybody.
Yep.
As of right now, all of the money that I have earned on any of those platforms has gone directly back into stuff here. It pays for our VTT, it pays for my maps. If you do wonder where all that money goes. So, May, Rose, anything to plug?
They said it. We're good.
Fair enough.
We love you. Niece on YouTube.
Love you guys too.
All the things.
Well then, if that is done, we do plan to be back here on Sunday at 11 Central Time, 18 Amsterdam Time for the next 2 Sundays. That will be, if you give me 2 seconds, September 8th as well as September 15th. Go on ahead and put those on your calendars. I'll let you guys know on Patreon or on Ko-fi if anything changes with that. I will let you know right now that on the 22nd of September, I will not be here because I will be in the woods once again. So there will be no session. Yeah. So, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you tune in with us next time so that you figure out why there's a massive cup in the harbor and what they're going to do about that, if they're going to do anything about that. And we can continue on with our wonderful game. So, thank you to my lovely players for being here. Thank you to all of my viewers for watching as well. Thank you to the 2 raiders who raided me earlier today. I do greatly appreciate that. And I hope that everyone's next game is good. And that you are able to play whatever TTRPG you find fun once more feeling. See y'all.
Goodbye.
Off Baratara, shining shores, fine sailing folk are we. The line between the sea and sky, our only boundary. On crashing waves and even tides, we'll navigate the sea. Steadfast our mission in our minds to keep these waters free.